Okay, with Election Day here, investors have enough uncertainty to deal with already. Curious to see what today is going to do to that. So to give us some answers, we got the president of Heritage Capital LLC, Paul Schatz, joining us. Good morning. Paul, first things first, before we get to today, the market went down pretty significantly over the course of 2 weeks, but then jumped right back up. Did that have anything to do with COVID one way or the other?
My short answer is the media blamed COVID for the decline. I totally dismiss it 100% for the simple reason that if the markets are worried about COVID, the stay-at-home stocks would not have gotten hit the hardest. What got hit the hardest? The stay-at-home stocks. What went up the most? The reopening stocks. So no, that to me was absolutely pre-election jitters.
Okay. And I was one of those people saying a lot of experts were blaming COVID, so shows what we know. If the president wins today, are we expecting a Trump bump like I believe we saw in 2016?
That's conventional wisdom. If Trump wins, which I doubt we'll know tonight, maybe markets should go up. But listen, the real question is the Senate. That's what no one's talking about. We may not know who wins because of Georgia's runoff rules until January 5th. And the Senate is, regarding legislation, the Senate's way more important in this election anyway.
Yeah, and you know, just given the fact that even the presidential election, the results may stretch out over the course of a number of days, especially because of Pennsylvania, I'm curious if that's just going to that's going to lead to less volatility in the coming days.
Look, stocks have been in the normal volatility range for an incumbent election year. People are not following data. The data has always said markets are not volatile into elections. You never get a 10% decline right before the election. And we didn't this year. We stopped just short of it like we were supposed to. So volatility, what the pros are playing is very big right now. They're expecting big volatility. And usually when you have an event certain, like I liken this election to Y2K, everyone could position for it days, weeks, months, and quarters ahead. And once the event came, markets were fine. I think you've got 6 different election outcomes now, the conventional ones, plus neither one gets 270 or it goes to the Supreme Court. But all professional investors know those are possible outcomes. So most of our data, and I only look at stock market data and different points. Most of our data points to a Biden victory. And the only thing that would throw that out the window would be that no Democratic frontrunner from day one has ever gone on to win in the modern era. But the other data points, you've had recession this year, you've had a bear market, years ending in 0 for incumbents, and approval ratings on July 31st all point to Joe Biden, the Democrats winning the White House. But clearly we'll see. The Rasmussen poll, which got it right like I did on your air 4 years ago, last night they were down to 1 point Biden over Trump from 3 points on Friday. So it seems to be a little tighter than the 10 points people think. But that's why we play the game.
Yeah, right now sitting at, I think, 8 points nationally. Before we go, I know we got to switch gears for a second. I want to bring up a wonderful picture. First time in probably decades we've shown acid-washed jeans on our air, but that's because you had a run-in with the late Sean Connery. Please tell us about that.
In 1990, I was at Pebble Beach, supposedly working for Shearson Lehman, and I snuck out. I went to the driving range, and there's a picture, and there was Sean Connery. It was late in the day. There was a couple people on the range. I grabbed some clubs out of my trunk and I hit balls. He asked to borrow my new age high-tech 3-wood. I let him hit it. We started chatting up for a half an hour. I kept waiting for him to walk away. He wouldn't. It was the two of us. It was really nice. There's nobody else around. And then at the end, he saw my old disposable cardboard camera sitting there, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to get a picture with you." So clearly I obliged. He was just being very nice and humble and sincere. But it's a memory that I will never forget.
I can imagine. Usually your interactions with celebrities are a couple seconds. That was 30 minutes. Boy, that is really something. And by the way, I'm sure it was a high-tech 3-wood. That long ago, it was probably actually made of wood, probably persimmon or something like that. But Hey, you're a
It
friend.
was right when metal started coming out, and he was the truest of true gentlemen.
Wonderful. That is good to see. All right, there's going to be a lot to talk about in the coming days and weeks. I always say that with you, but it's probably never been more true than it is now, Paul. Good to see you again. Let's have you back on soon.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay, it is 10:30.